Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your favourite Robbie Williams chimp loving music lover. Don't know where that was going. We got there in the end, but without further ado, I'm reviewing a film that I didn't really know much about, to be honest, and then I saw the trailer back a couple of months ago when going to the movies, and I thought it looked really interesting. I'm familiar with Robbie Williams. I'm not fully familiar. I'm not familiar with a lot of his music. I'm not familiar with, I guess, the nitty gritty of his life story, but it is to keep it bare bones, it's basically a biopic about his life, in saying that it is played by a mocap chimp or ape or monkey, however you'd like to say it, but which I thought was really interesting because it actually originated from a quote of Robbie saying if he ever wanted to have a film or have a film about him, he wanted it to basically be not like a standard one because his life's never been standard, but he always felt like a monkey inside of a closure or a chimp inside of a closure where no one knew him, taking photos, things like that, but he always wanted it to be like this. And I thought it was a really interesting premise, but overall the film is very paint by the numbers biopic, just however with a mocap chimp. But in saying that, this might be one of the funnest times I've had at the cinemas this year. Overall, I thought, first of all, the film's directed by Michael Gracie, who's a fellow Melbourneian Australian man who was most known for directing things like music videos and things like that, and then directed The Greatest Showman, which a lot of people love. I thought it was a fine movie, but I think he's recently touted to direct the live-action Tangled reboot, which is interesting, but I didn't know what to expect with it, but it is a fun time. I'm not familiar with many of the actors in it. The guy who plays Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood plays his manager and things like that. But Robbie Williams himself is the narrator of the film, which I thought was a really nice touch. And obviously having him involved probably makes it a bit more authentic, other than some biopics historically. But I think overall, this film really worked with the fact that Michael Gracie was directing it. And I'm really interested to see what he continues doing because having someone who's done music videos and then helming obviously Greatest Showman had some great choreograph and some great musical numbers. I think one of the Rock the DJ or Rock DJ, however the song's pronounced, that sequence in this film is one of the best sequences or funnest sequences in film I've watched this year. But I think that really helped, and I think that really showed, and I think you've got great performances across the board. Not only have you hired, not well-known people, but people who probably are singers and dancers first before actors, and it kind of does show they're very good in the film, but the choreography, the singing is all top-notch in the film. The actual story itself is really interesting, and it was actually quite hard-hitting, to be honest. It was emotional. Look, as I said, it's very paint by the numbers, but me personally, you might not like it back watching this at home or wherever you're watching it, but I'm probably a big sucker for these paint by the numbers biopics. If it works, it works. If it's done well, it's done well. And I think this is one of the most surprising things I've seen this year. It's one of the better movie musicals. Obviously saw Wicked and reviewed that, and I loved it. And I think this is something that I enjoyed nearly just as much. I don't think it has the dazzle or the scale that Wicked did, but in comparison to some of the other movie musicals out this year, I think this is one of the biggest surprises, not just for a musical, but just for a movie in general. And on the way home from the movie, I was pumping Robbie Williams music all the way home, and I think that goes to show you that it did exactly what it needed to do. It put a light on what he experienced as a kid and as a member of a boy band before he endured a solo career of addiction, drug addiction, sex addiction, whatever it was. And I thought it was really an interesting deep dive into that life and obviously people who, your family, your loved ones, your close ones. And I think it was just overall exactly what I needed when I watched it. I thought it was a great time, and I would really, I don't know, to be honest. I think Robbie Williams is massive in Australia, massive in the UK. He's obviously a British artist, but from the boy band Take That as well. And I'm not sure if he's quite big in the States, but this is a film that I would love people to go see because I think it needs to be seen, especially on the big screen. Some of the musical numbers, some of the songs, it's made for that. And everyone was having a fantastic time in my screening. And I think, when it does it right, these films have that ability to kind of bring that entertainment and bring that kind of vibe to a theater. And I think that's exciting. But I'd love for people to go see this. I'd love for people to go see this, for this film to succeed, because I think it is one of the biggest surprises of the year. So if you have seen it, comment below, let us know. I'd love to know what other people think about it. If you like the review, give it a like, subscribe for more, and we'll catch you next time.